Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Undrafted Experts. And I'm here today to do something I haven't done in about 7-8 months now. We're here to do some mock drafts. So, reason I've held out for a while is, didn't feel like doing mock drafts till we got closer to playoffs. So, we got through main regular season of college football. So, any of your main players that were going to rise and fall throughout the regular season, we'd go ahead and do that. And then of course, we still got playoffs, we got combine and all that. But this just seems like a fitting time. We kind of understand the draft order now. We don't have to guess as much on, will this team be good? Will this team be bad? We got a good idea now. So anyway, let's go and get this started. Houston Texans on the clock at number 1. I'm going Bryce Young. Good quarterback across the board. Easy going. Stable floor. Is his ceiling as high as some of these other guys? Probably not. He is a bit of a shorter quarterback, so that could be a problem in the league. But I think if you're the Texans, you need production now. You can't really wait for a guy to, develop like the Will Levises of the world. You could argue CJ Stroud. I've liked what I've seen out of Bryce Young more so far this year. CJ Stroud for me, it's something about Ohio State quarterbacks. I've had a problem with it for a while now. You've got so much talent around you, and if you want to make that argument for Alabama, not this year. just not this year. But anyway, continuing on the trend of picking Alabama players, at number 2, I'm going to take Will Anderson Jr. here for the Seahawks. I've gone back and forth here. I don't know whether to go Jalen Carter or Will Anderson. I think if you're Seattle, you could do great with either. I think Jalen Carter would be great on the interior for him. But why not go ahead and get yourself some edge help? Continue to build that defensive line. You really can't go wrong with either one, in my opinion. And then that leads me to the Bears, where I'm going to take Jalen Carter. Pretty simple. They're probably 2 and 3 in this class when it comes to where they're going to go. There's a chance if a non-QB needy team gets into the number 1 overall pick, then I could see it happening. But I don't know. Doesn't seem like something I see happening. Then at number 4, I have the Lions going with Brian Breesy. I can't remember how to say his name ever. Interior D lineman out of Clemson. Looked really good in the ACC title game. As you see, UNC fan. I saw it way too much. Looked really damn good. Could go Myles Murphy here. I like both. And I also understand the argument for a quarterback. You don't think Jared Goff's the guy. A lot of people don't think he's the guy. But we've been getting reports as of late that seems like they want to at least give it a couple more goes with Jared Goff. He is going to be pretty expensive. So a CJ Stroud here does not surprise me if they were to take that route. But I like the idea of build up your D-line some more. If you think Jared Goff can do it, then why go out and spend high capital on a quarterback? Go try to capitalize on Jared Goff now. See if you can do what the Rams did back in 2017 with him. Or was it 2018? One of the two. Where they took him to a Super Bowl. See if you can make that happen. And then at number 5 with the Eagles here, I've got them taking Myles Murphy. You're going to go D-line if you're the Eagles here. I could see a corner, but I don't know. I feel like you keep building that D-line. It's a pretty damn solid D-line. And you've just drafted Jordan Davis, one of my favorite picks. Why not get another young D-lineman? Another good edge rusher. Brandon Graham is not getting any younger. And then at number 6 for the Cardinals, I'm going to go with the guy that I just was watching before I did this mock draft. I'm going to go Christian Gonzalez. You watch him. I watched, I think, 2 minutes of highlights on him. Within 2 minutes, you could kind of tell he's got it. A great ball hawk, great in man coverage. He seems like a pretty complete guy to me from what I've seen. And the Cardinals could definitely use some help on the outside. He'll be a plug-and-play starter for them. I understand the argument for, you know, Kelee Ringo. He's got all the traits in the world, but I didn't see much this year on tape. It's throwing me off. I hate to say it. I know you guys are thinking it. It reminds me of my take on Stingley last year. It really does. Where he didn't have a great year. Though this year, I mean, Kelee Ringo, as far as I'm aware, didn't really suffer any injuries. So, you could claim that. But, I don't know, just the tape didn't jump out to me. I've kind of cooled off on him, but I understand it fully. Number 7 here for the Colts. I have them going CJ Stroud. It's time to stop getting old quarterbacks. If you are the Colts, just stop. It's not working. You've tried this so many times now, and it's failed. I mean, what? Carson Wentz didn't work. Phillip Rivers didn't work. Matt Ryan, he's dead. Like, it's not gonna work. So go with somebody young. Go with a guy who is insanely accurate. I mean, once again, I know, I just said it, I don't really like Ohio State quarterbacks as much. This is one of the better ones. So, I can't dock him too much. At number 8 here, I really struggled with this pick, if I'm keeping it honest with you. On the one hand, you have the fact that Derek Carr really not been that good. Just hasn't. But at the same time, you've got him signed on a contract. You do have an out, so you could technically get out of this deal or trade him to somebody. And then that leaves you with the opening for a QB like a Will Levis or an Anthony Richardson. I would go Will Levis there, but Anthony Richardson does have a really high upside. However, I'm saying they either stick with Derek Carr, they trade for another quarterback, maybe sign one, and they go out and get themselves Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Mainly plays left tackle. However, I've heard rumblings that, I mean, you look at it, he could potentially flip to right tackle and be pretty well off. And that's something that the Raiders need, is right tackle help. Moving on here, number 9, Carolina Panthers. This is easy. It's Will Levis. They have to figure out this quarterback ordeal. They're just like the Colts, except for worse. A QB carousel of either washed up QBs or failed prospects, and it's just not working. You can keep trying it. You can keep doing whatever you want. I don't think it's going to lead to success overall. That's just me. Then here at 10 with the Falcons, I have them taking Tyree Wilson. Build up some more of that D-line. He can play on the D-line. He can play as an edge rusher. I think he's more of an interior guy in the league, but we'll see how it pans out. So it's just like the Trayvon Walker ordeal before. If I'm thinking of the right player here, where it's, you know, all the potential in the world, but you got to bank on it a little bit. Kind of that's the gathering I've got, the words that I have gathered from everyone else. I mean, you can correct me down below. I might be totally wrong. I could be thinking of somebody else, but that's kind of what I gathered. And based off what I've seen, I think he's going to be more of a interior guy when it's all said and done. Number 11 with the Jaguars, I've been going Peter Skoronski. Just get the best overall lineman. You don't know whether he can play tackle in the league, but he's almost a surefire guard. Might as well. I mean, maybe he replaces Cam Robinson. Maybe he slides inside and becomes a great left guard. You don't know. But I do know I want to protect Trevor Lawrence. I know a lot of people here kind of want to go receiver, like take a Quentin Johnston or Jordan Addison, but no. You just picked up Calvin Ridley. I think you hold out. Maybe get a guy in the second. I could see that very well happening. Anyway, number 12 here. Texans again via Cleveland. This is my Quentin Johnston spot. You just went and got Bryce Young. Go ahead and get yourself his wide receiver 1, more than likely. Brandon Cooks doesn't want to be there. We've known this. Nico Collins could be a nice wide receiver 2. I don't know if he's a wide receiver 1. So go ahead and get Quentin Johnston. Just do a complete overhaul on the offensive side of the ball. And then next up here, as you can see in the back, oh, wrong side, my Pittsburgh Steelers. I have them going Joey Porter Jr. The argument is very strong here. As much as I'd like to take offensive line, and there's an easy choice there, it'd be Paris Johnson Jr. I also like the idea of going and getting a high-end CB1 that's from the area and has ties to the Steelers organization. I mean, his father, Joey Porter, played for the Steelers in the 2000s. I mean, it's pretty easy to make that connection. So I'm personally going to do that here. I would not be surprised if it's an offensive lineman come April. But I really like the idea of getting yourself a top tier corner here. And then we have 2 picks in the second round. If that Bears pick stays high, you can grab like an Osiris Torrance, an Antoine Harrison if he stays around, or DeJuan Jones if he's sitting around in that range. And then potentially with the second round pick, either take another offensive lineman or maybe go D-line. I mean, Cam Hayward is getting up there in age, unfortunately. So we do have to at least start thinking about it, as much as I don't want to. But anyway, number 14 here with the Packers. They're well known for not taking receivers in the first round, though they should. So you know what? We'll get a pass catcher in a different way. We'll go Michael Mayer here. Tight end out of Notre Dame. The best tight end prospect in the class. Another guy like Kyle Pitts 2 years ago. Not on the same level as Kyle Pitts as a prospect, but another one of those guys that you never really see tight end go in the first round. He's one of the guys, or at least earlier in the first round. He's one of those guys that'll go. I have a strong feeling he will go in the first. Moving on, Lions at 15 here. There's a strong debate here at corner. So, I mean, Kelee Ringo, I talked about it earlier. Don't really like the tape. It was great a year before. This year, it's not really there. You know, the intangibles are all there for him. And Cam Smith has looked pretty damn solid, especially as a man corner. However, I'm going to take the intangibles here. I'm going to go Kelee Ringo for the Lions. You may as well go ahead. I mean, take Brian Brzee, I think is how you say it. And then Kelee Ringo. Go ahead and just build on that defense. You don't really have to rush it on offense, like I said earlier. I mean, this could very well be a Jordan Addison spot, but I really don't feel like you need receiver. Your O-line's fine. Your running backs are fine. The only spot you'd go is quarterback. It could be an Anthony Richardson spot, but not today. But speaking of Jordan Addison, we're going to go ahead and give him to the Chargers here. Get some more pass catchers for Herbert. Mike Williams has been in and out of the lineup all year with injuries. Keenan Allen, a similar ordeal. Hamstring bothered him for pretty much the entire first half of the season. And I'm sorry, Herbert is not going to be able to continue to produce with his top 2 receivers out. So go ahead, get another top receiver this year, or if Michael Mayer was to follow them, take a Michael Mayer. Get somebody else out there for Herbert to throw the ball to, simply put. Now, moving on to number 17 with the Seahawks. This is where I have Cam Smith going. Go ahead, pair him up with probably the second best defensive rookie this year in Tariq Woolen. Of course, y'all know I'm a Sauce Gardner guy, so I'm going to defend him. But Tariq Woolen's been really damn good. He's been a turnover machine. He shut down DeAndre Hopkins a few weeks ago. I mean, both Sauce and Woolen are going to be really good for years to come, I hope. And if you're Seattle, why not go ahead and get yourself 2 top-tier corners? Go ahead and get a Cam Smith and just be done. Have your corner position set for years to come. And number 18 here with the Jets, I have them taking Paris Johnson Jr. It just has not worked out with Mekhi Becton. The injuries keep piling up. He can't stay on the field. I want him to succeed, I really do. But man, something just isn't working. Either it's his body not being able to hold up, or it's the way he plays the game. I don't know. But something isn't working. And if you're the Jets, you really can't wait around much longer without having to pay him. So I'd go ahead and get Paris Johnson Jr. and prepare to move on from the Mekhi Becton era. At number 19 here, I have the Bucks going with, for some reason listed at corner, Brian Branch out of Alabama. He's more of a safety. At least that's how I viewed him. And if you're the Bucks, I mean, got Antoine Winfield Jr. and then Mike Edwards. Both have been dealing with injuries. Go ahead and get some more assets and some good players in that secondary. Keep building it. You could go with an edge guy like an Isaiah Foskey. You could do that, or Foskey. I'm not sure. You could go that route. However, I would rather go with a Brian Branch here. I know it says corner on there. He's more of a safety. So you gotta factor that in with this. Moving on here to number 20 with the Titans. I'd love to go O-line, but there's not really a great tackle for a good couple picks. And I don't really want to reach at 20. So let's go with another potential position in need. Let's go get Jackson Smith and Jigba. Go ahead. Pair him up with a guy like Treylon Burks. I know Tannehill really hasn't been good, but this at least sets you up. This is going to give Tannehill his best shot to make it happen, you know. And if you can't figure it out from there, you do have Malik Willis in the pipeline, potentially. He did not look that good earlier in the year, but that's the thing with a quarterback like Malik Willis. We know it's going to take a year or two for him to really settle in. So that's something we'll see how it goes with him. But if anything, sets you up in a year or two, have 2 top-tier pass catchers, and you can get yourself a young QB and be in a perfect position to develop him. Pick 21 here with the Patriots. I have them going with Trenton Simpson. Probably the best linebacker in the class. At least him or Henry To'oTo'o. It's one of the two. But I'm going with Trenton Simpson here. Build on that defense. I mean, it's one of the things. I mean, can you name a Patriots linebacker right now outside of Judon? But he's more of a edge guy. I can't. I can tell you that. Call me a casual if I am. I mean, I think you go get yourself Trenton Simpson. He'll be a plug-and-play guy for him. And just an immediate improvement in that linebacker room. Number 22 here with the Commanders. I have them going with, speaking of him, Henry To'oTo'o. Linebacker out of Alabama. For some reason he's ranked 154 on here. I think these are preseason rankings. I don't think they've been updated properly. Yeah, Henry To'oTo'o, leading tackler for Bama. He's been one of the better all-around players on that defense. I mean, obviously, Will Anderson exists, but other than him, one of the better ones. I think that's an immediate improvement. I mean, Cole Holcomb's been out for the past couple weeks on IR. Can't remember what the injury is. I think it's a foot. But go in there, get yourself. I mean, the Commanders have always been a pipeline for Alabama players. Fitting time to get another one. Could have gone Anthony Richardson here. This is one of the prime spots for him. Another potential team. I'm trying to think, who was it back there? Yeah, it was the Lions. The Lions and the Commanders in this scenario are two of my favorite ones that could do it, but I don't think they will. However, this team right here, the Giants, I think they are the team to do it. Brian Daboll is well known for being one of the major guys that aided in the development of Josh Allen to be, well, quite frankly, the Josh Allen we know and love today. I think Brian Daboll would love the idea to take a guy like Anthony Richardson and build him up to be, maybe not the next Josh Allen, but the next great QB prospect that fell down the board because it was real raw, needed some work. And Brian Daboll just makes it work. He made Daniel Jones look good temporarily. Who's to say he can't turn Anthony Richardson with all the tools in the world to be a great quarterback? Can't turn him into something great in this league. At number 24 here, I'm going with a bit of a value pick. You lost Bradley Chubb in a trade, so now you kind of you try to fill that void with Isaiah Foskey, edge guy out of Notre Dame. Wasn't particularly my first need. I'm pretty sure my main thing I was looking for were linebackers overall, but I mean, really none left that are first round talents in my opinion. Your main two are Trenton Simpson and Henry To'oTo'o. I mean, I can look at them. Drew Sanders is looking okay. Noah Sewell could be okay in the league. But these, Cedric Gray I like. Though I think Cedric Gray is coming back. I can't remember. But I like those guys, but they're probably going to be second rounders. They're probably going to be day two guys. It's just the way it is. So go ahead and get a good value here in Isaiah Foskey at number 24. And then I had to do something that I really don't want to do. Remember, Steelers fan here. This is the perfect spot for him. Bijan Robinson to the Ravens. I mean, J.K. Dobbins has been dealing with some serious injuries, we know. And I'm not saying he can't bring it back, but you have an injury like that, there's a lot of rehab needed just to get back somewhat close. Not even to where you were before. It's very hard to get back to where you were before in that scenario. But anyway, moving on to another divisional rival here. The Bengals, bit of an oddball pick here that I'm about to make. Hayden Hurst is up there in age. Why don't we get Joe Burrow, a 6'7" tight end, and Darnell Washington? I mean, he's a matchup nightmare. The man could just throw his hands up, and he's like, throw his hands up, and the corner can only get to here. It's a mismatch. Like, he could be an ultimate cheat code in the league, and you get him for a guy like a Joe Burrow, who can for sure make good use of him. That could be a lethal combo for years to come. And here we are with the Cowboys. I had a tough time with this one. And once again, this guy's listed as edge for some reason, and he's way down here. But he's more of an interior D-line guy out of USC. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Tuli something. His brother is in the league. He's a part of the Eagles D-line, as far as I'm aware. But I think get yourself some interior help. If you're the Cowboys, you could go corner. It's very well possible this could be a Clark Phillips spot. I could see it. But I would go get interior D-line first. Your corners will come back. They may be hurt now, and you may have problems right now. But they do come back next year, as far as I'm aware. Then at number 28, this is one of those picks. I was talking about him earlier. Anton Harrison. He's a guy that he's going to be a borderline day one, high-end day two guy. I don't know exactly where he goes just yet, but I really like him as a pass blocker. And you think about the fact that they've talked about possibly moving Orlando Brown Jr. or letting him go, one of the two. This could be your immediate replacement. As we know, Orlando Brown Jr. has issues in a pass-heavy scheme, which is kind of what the Chiefs are. He's better off, like when he was in Baltimore, in a run-heavy scheme. Anton Harrison, his main thing is being a pass protector. That's one of his strengths, is in pass pro. That seems like a perfect fit. And they had success with another Oklahoma offensive lineman they took a few years ago, Creed Humphrey. Once again, somebody the Steelers were scrutinized for not taking. But either way, Anton Harrison, that's my pick there. I think he'll be pretty darn good for him. And with the right scheme and more of a pass-heavy offense, he'll be pretty damn good for you. Vikings up at 29. They need some help at corner. And Clark Phillips could be the guy for you. I mean, that defense looked bad last week against the Lions. Just bad. So go ahead, get yourself a corner. He's been a late first guy pretty much the entire way through. I still need to watch his tape, but from what I've heard, pretty overall solid corner. Nothing insanely flashy from what I've heard. But solid pickup. He'll be an immediate starter at the end of the day. And that's what you want in the first round. Bills at number 30. I have them going with Antonio Johnson, safety out of Texas A&M. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are not getting any younger. You really don't have a ton of need. I mean, you could go interior O-line. I could see it happening. But why don't you go ahead, while you still have Poyer and Micah Hyde, bring in a guy like Antonio Johnson. He doesn't have to start immediately. I know we were just talking about this. But this is one of those scenarios. You don't have to start him immediately. You can have him learn under Micah Hyde and under Jordan Poyer. Learn the little nuances of the NFL game. It's almost a match made in heaven. And then with the final pick of the first round, thanks to Miami having their pick forfeited up here, I have the Eagles going with Osiris Torrance, guard out of Florida. So here we go, analyzing everything. Here's our full draft here. You could use some interior help if you're Philly. I know you could argue going with the Jahmyr Gibbs, get some running back help. However, Miles Sanders just hit 1,000 yards rushing this year. Do you really prioritize that in the first round, or do you wait and get him maybe a second or a third round back? See if it pans out. That's what I would rather do in that scenario. But here is the overall first round. Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Brian Brzee, that's how you say it. God. Miles Murphy, Christian Gonzalez, CJ Stroud, Broderick Jones, Will Levis, Tyree Wilson, Peter Skoronski, Quentin Johnston, Joey Porter Jr., Michael Mayer, Keely Ringo, Jordan Addison, Cam Smith, Paris Johnson Jr., Brian Branch, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Trenton Simpson, Henry To'oTo'o, Anthony Richardson, Isaiah Foskey, Bijan Robinson, Darnell Washington, Thule, USC guy, not gonna try it, Anton Harrison, Clark Phillips III, Antonio Johnson, and Osiris Torrance. That is Zach's Mock Draft 1.0. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you like, what you hate. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. That's typical. But let me know how you feel about the draft. Tell me what you'd rather your team take, or if, why you think my pick was correct. Just let me know. Thank you all for watching again. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.